is only war.
What is up, gents? World top 40k player and a Recon Marine, Keevil, bringing you some 40k Dirtbag content. Today, we're going to be going over everything you need to do before 11th edition. Getting into 11th edition is going to be similar to what 10th edition was like. Going from 9th edition to 10th edition, I lived through that transition. I knew what to focus on and what not to focus on. If you guys are new to the channel, I appreciate clicking on the video. We were the #1 Grey Knight player in the world 3 years ago, #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world 2 years ago, #1 Death Guard player in the world last year, and already #1 ranked Ork player in the United States this year, right before 11th edition. So we know a lot about the core rules, learning the core rules. No matter what you learn with the core rules, you can implement that to multiple armies, and that's why we did so well over at the Dirtbag Nation for the past 3 years. So that's kind of what we bring to the table. That's what we're trying to coach and get the Dirtbag Nation growing in 11th edition. So if you want that professional coach that has played all over the world in your corner, you can message us on Patreon, join the Patreon, and get the competitive and Grandmaster coaching in your corner going into 11th edition. So in this video, it's going to be a broad range of what you're going to be focusing on, making it as easy as possible to get good going into 11th edition, probably before everybody else. So quick shout out to the sponsors. If you guys are interested in the merch, click on the description below. We have a new website. Click on that website, gives you all the information, all the merch, all in one tab. So go check that out. These shirts are legit and they look sick as well. So quick shout out to the sponsors, and then we'll get into how to start 11th edition 40k. All right, guys, thanks for clicking on the video. If you guys want to support the channel, stay tuned towards the end of the video where we'll go over all of this stuff, as well as any links in the description below for laser lines, shirts, and gear is in all the description. So stay tuned towards the end and enjoy the video. All right, guys, so this is going to be just a simple guide of what you're going to be focusing on step by step going into 11th edition to make it as easy of a transition as possible for you. We already had our first game of 11th edition live on stream. I'll link that in the description below. It was a super fun game against me and Keevil. I was running Chaos Space Marines. He was running Space Marines. And the Chaos Space Marines, I tried Chaos Cult with a mixture of Night Lords. I don't know if it's going to be a legal detachment. We were just testing out battle shocks and stuff like that. And he was just running one detachment, which he's practicing for Atlantic City Open this weekend, which is a team event. We're super excited to go do that as well. So if you guys are in Atlantic City this weekend, who knows by the time you see this video next weekend, who knows by the time you see this video if you're going to be there or not. But let's get into it. So how to start 11th edition. If you guys are new to the channel, this is brand new for me, hitting this little thing instead of scrolling the box down. But check this out. Boom, we got messaging like this. So I am super proud of myself by doing this. But yeah, guys, read the core rules top to bottom. That is literally the first thing you have to do. So first thing, right when you get the core rules, which is free now on the Games Workshop website, you literally just go there, download the core rules, and you have everything on your phone right in front of you. You can search for keywords, you can search for interactions or stuff that you need to do. But the core rules, what I would do is literally read them top to bottom. And you can have a little notepad right next to you where you can write down the differences from 10th edition to 11th edition. So you can kind of say like, the terrain is -1 ballistic skill instead of -1 to hit. The strats instead of the tank shock. Tank shock works for monsters now. Like little stuff like that. You're going to be writing down the differences, core rules, top to bottom, so that way you know what the difference is going into your first game. So it's how I can play any army and do so well. That's really what worked for me, going from Grey Knights to Chaos Space Marines to Death Guard to Orks. All different armies, like really completely different armies, and still being able to play the game at such a high level and competitive level. We won a ton of tournaments, a ton of GTs. We've been to Worlds twice, 2 out of 3 times. First time we didn't even know about it. And then we made 2 golden tickets already this year to Worlds in Barcelona, Spain. So this is me giving it to you guys on, if you know the core rules from top to bottom, you could do well in this game of 40k. Knowing more than your opponent helps a lot with this game, because what I mean by that, if the fight phase is super crucial when it comes to denying primary, getting on objectives, stealing, consolidating, slingshots, all these like little things you have to learn by playing, knowing the core rules on how it actually works and getting to play essentially better than your opponent all comes down from just knowing the core rules. So when it comes to 11th edition, pile and consolidate, you don't have to base to base anymore. If you do base, that means you and your opponent can't move anymore, which is good. But for example, you can actually charge into an opponent, and before any pile-ins happen, you're going to be able to pile in before they pile in. Yes, all pile-ins happen at the same phase, but you still get to go before they do. So when you charge in, you do all your charges. He then countercharges, but you do all your charges, and then you, as the attacking player, piles in everywhere, and then he gets to pile in. So you can kind of trap him where he is by basing like 1 or 2 models, so that way he can't base you, and then all your other models in the unit can still pile in 3 around them to get extra movement for then maybe a second pile in charge or consolidate. So there's still slingshots in this game. There's still ways to kind of trick and get around certain stuff. And that core rule is reading that, knowing it more than your opponent before you go to the table. So just outplaying your opponent wins more games than the army. 100%. So pulling off key moments by knowing the rules. So when it comes to consolidate or blocking off charges. Again, a lot of this is in the charge phase, but with consolidating, you want to be able to consolidate onto the objective. So I saw this in one of the videos where you're on the objective already. You can consolidate all the way back, further away from your opponent to make that charge farther. Before in 10th edition, you had to go directly towards the objective. Like you couldn't pile anywhere on the objective. That would be what's happening now. But you had to go directly towards it. So sometimes it forced you to go forward onto the objective in 10th edition. Now it's anywhere in the terrain feature. So if there's nobody that you can consolidate into your opponent, you can then consolidate 3 inches anywhere on that terrain feature as long as you end on the terrain feature. So if I'm in the beginning of the terrain feature about to get charged by another unit, I can essentially consolidate 3 inches back to make his charge 3 inches harder. So little stuff like that is knowing the core rules top to bottom to make yourself in the game that much more knowledgeable and get better and obviously beat your opponents at the same time. So read the core rules, first thing to do, top to bottom. Then the next thing we noticed after we played our first game is you want to reread your codex from top to bottom. What you're really going to be doing with reading the codex is really just reading all of the data sheets that we have access to, read all of the enhancements, read all of the detachment abilities, and read the stratagems. Because some of the stratagems that sucked before are probably not as bad, if not godly, now. So -1 to hit is actually huge. Who the hell ran a Chaos Sorcerer? Has anybody, put your hands up, let me know in the comments below. Have you ever ran a Chaos Space Marine Sorcerer? Not a Terminator one, a regular Sorcerer before. Probably not. But now he gives -1 to hit to the units. So anytime that, and that's in melee as well, anytime that attack is coming into my unit that's led by a sorcerer, it's -1 to hit. If I'm in cover, it's -1 ballistic skill to shoot them, and now -1 to hit on top of that. So you're hitting on 5s most of the time. That's something to test out. That's something that could actually come up going into 11th edition, is something that we never ran in 10th, but now it's freaking insane. Anything that like gave cover, the benefits of cover, could be good, which you didn't really care about before because you already had it. But now if you're like in the open, you just have like, hey, now -1 ballistic skill, good luck. So stuff like that is going to be huge. Also, ignore cover is really good. So a lot of times we didn't really care too much about ignoring cover just because they're already going to get their invuln save anyway. But now it's going to make me even easier to hit and more to kill with the ignore cover. So instead of them getting their up to their invuln save, they're going to get to their invuln save anyway because it's an AP2 gun, but it's going to make my gun hit easier because I ignore cover. So all those little things that you're going to be reading in your codex from top to bottom and like trying to like make new lists on like, holy shit, this could be really good. Forever, if you guys have been on my channel, I've been wanting Night Lords to be good. Night Lords are now good. That's me before I played them. I played them in the game against Keevil, and all I did was play the Battle Shock strat, or Battle Shock thing. I didn't even use their strats. I played just the Battle Shock with Chaos Cult strats. That's the game I played. I played Chaos Cult list with an enhancement for the Lord to join Warp Talons, which is a really good enhancement, Warp Talons and the Lord are the only thing really I added, and Blue Horse are the only things I added from the Night Lords. I didn't use any of the strats. I just used their data detachment ability, which is if you're within 12 inches of me, you have to take a battle shock test if you're below starting strength at -1, which actually came up a lot. And then adding the Blue Horror's -1 leadership, they were then leadership 2 near the Blue Horror. So he has to take a leadership test at -2. The tests don't go away now in battle shock. So you have to retest if you're battle shocked going into the next round. So it doesn't just fall off automatically. And battle shocks are half now of the unit, not below half. So a lot of stuff actually came up with the Night Lords attachment without even using any of the strats. So my next game might just be straight up Night Lords until we know the detachment rules. But Night Lords might just be a straight up Night Lord list that I'm going to be testing out with all the Night Lord strats instead of Chaos Cult. So Night Lords now going to be really good when the battle shock didn't matter in 10th edition. So little stuff like that you're going to be reading in your codex from start to finish. So going to 11th edition, that's going to be the first 2 steps is learn the core rules top to bottom, know the differences, then reread your codex or whichever army you're trying to get into. You can read all the armies. Like you're like, hey, Death Guard, I'm going to try this. Chaos, I'm going to try this. Grey Knights, I'm going to try this. And that's what I'm doing right now is I'm building a ton of different lists for 11th edition. Before we know the detachments, it's kind of like general ideas, right? Then once all the detachment points come out and the actual points come out, then we can tweak it. But we have a general idea of what we can build right now going in so that we are already prepared for the first RTT coming up or the first battle reports that you're trying to do. All this stuff is going to be so much easier going into 11th edition. So do these first 2 steps. It's going to help out tremendously. Okay. Next, you want to practice 11th edition game. Just run your standard list, put it on the table, and just play. And that's it. Just play a game like me and Keevil did. It's going to take long as fuck. Ours was 5 hours, but just play. And that's really, you're going to be looking up rules. You're going to be practicing. You're going to be learning what change. You're going to learn what the cover is now. You're going to roll like, holy shit, I hit on 5s now. That's something I have to look into. So pick Kill More and Take and Hold. Just those primary missions. Just pick those 2. Just play it and just kind of test it and see how it goes. If you already have the cards, do the cards. If you can download all the free rules, like the core rules, it's already free, but like there's a lot of other things on the web that show the secondaries you can print out or just have it on your phone. Me and Keevil just had it on the screen that we were looking into. We also had an app made by one of our sponsors, and he's letting us use all the secondaries. So just take those 2 and just play a game of 11th edition. Have the rules next to you for reference the entire time. Say them out loud so you and your opponent are practicing saying it and also knowing what the rules are. So have the core rules in front of you. If something comes up like a grenade, look up the grenade and be like, all right, did anything change about the grenade? Oh shit, I can do it when I fall back now if I can shoot. So if I have a fall back and shoot unit, I can fall back and throw a grenade. That's a different change. So read the changes as they come up. If you're like, all right, I'm about to shoot into this unit, do they have cover? And if they're all touching the terrain, yeah, they all have cover now or -1 ballistic skill. But I can see that one guy that's not in cover. Does he get the benefit of cover? So no, if you shoot that one guy that's not in cover and your whole unit can see that one guy clearly, then you're not -1 ballistic skill. So little stuff like that is going to come up throughout the game, and reading the rules out loud to you and your opponent, you're learning the game at the same time. So it's really good to have that. Then who cares about the score? Nobody. Like just play the game. Have fun, both learning the new rules. Track the score, obviously, but don't care about the score. Like me and Keevil didn't care. Didn't really look back at the score. Like we didn't care. We were just like playing the game to learn the rules. You're going to learn the mechanics, and then the score is going to come up later on once you're getting better and both of you guys know the rules. But what I did pay attention to was how quickly and easy the secondaries and primary are going to be able to be scored in 11th edition. So if you're down by 20, 30 points going into turn 2, don't be afraid. Like that might be how his primary mission is played. As you kill more units and he has less opportunity to do actions and control primary, you're then going to skyrocket and catch up to him. So there's a lot of things that are going to be way different with scoring from 10th edition to 11th edition. It's going to be a little bit tricky to get used to, but you will get used to it. Me and Keevil was like, holy shit, I'm up by 24 points going into turn 1. I was like, what is going on right now? So the lists and the points are going to be a lot similar now compared to 10th edition. Then after you get a game of 11th edition and under your belt, read all of the primary cards. So you're going to want to go back and kind of see, you're going to start thinking now of making lists. So you're going to read all the primary cards, you're going to see what the actions and stuff you have to do with them, and then your list is going to be determined on what primary you're going to be picking. So if you pick, for example, take and hold, you're like, all right, my list has to be able to hold objectives and keep them for the entire game. And that's really it. So read all of that. Then if you want to go more in like the technical side, you have the purge the foe, you have take and hold, and then you have more of like 3 other ones that could be more of like actions, technical, doing different stuff. I picked the X blue one, the blue X one, and that actually worked with a horde type list. So I feel like horde is going to be able to take that one or take and hold or something like that. Maybe even kill more. I think horde has a lot more flexibility of all that stuff because you're going to be able to do actions with a horde list. So you're going to read all of the primary cards and then start making lists with that primary in your mind. I'm sure when the app updates, you're going to be able to pick the primary in list discussion, because when you submit your list, you're gonna have to submit your list with the primary already chosen. Because when you walk at the table, you're both gonna do your primary and say, all right, I'm picking this, you're playing that. This is our mission. We're gonna set up the table, and then that's our game. Instead of like going to the tournament, everybody has the same mission, everybody has the same layout. Every game now is gonna be different. So that's something cool going to 11th edition as well. So you have to know all of the primaries to an extent, so that way you already had familiarity of what to stop and deny primary while also doing yours at the same time. So let me get my head out of the way. Okay. So start making lists, build around the primary you wish to test. Test that again with maybe a different primary. Like the list might not suck. It might just been you picked the wrong primary. When Keevil took take and hold, he's like, fuck, this is not a primary that I should have taken. I probably should have taken kill more or something like that. So he might just run the same list again with a different primary. So it's going to be a lot of testing you're going to have to do with a lot of list building at the same time. Test different primary cards. So if you have the list, test take and hold, test the blue X one. I don't know the names yet. Test kill more, see which one felt easier to do, and that might be your primary. So if you're like, holy shit, this primary was super easy to do, this list I might tweak a little bit to make it even easier. And obviously the secondaries don't change. The secondaries, you're still going to have to do secondaries. But at least the primary, you're like, hey, I don't even have to think about primary with this list. So this list is good to go with that primary. And then find your somewhat play style in 11th edition. So my play style has always been like horde, control objectives, steal primary, stuff like that. That's my play style. It's like, I'm going to have as much primary as I possibly can while denying your primary as much as I can, and we're both going to get secondaries. I know I'm probably going to win because I'm better at stealing primary than you are, and we both have similar secondaries. So going into 11th edition, find out your play style. Is if your play style is killing everything, pick the kill more mission and just fucking go. Like that is going to be your play style all of 11th edition. And every army you make it towards that play style. So that's going to be a lot of fun going into 11th edition, is finding your play style that you want to be playing, picking a list geared toward that primary, which is really cool, and then just playing 11th edition. Because before, I hated Purge the Foe. Purge the Foe is literally one of my worst missions. I hated playing it. I was always running horde type lists, so I had 20 different action monkeys, super easy to kill. Now, I don't have to worry about that. Purge the Foe is fucking gone, right? Your opponent is still going to be able to kill you and get points for the Purge the Foe, but I don't have to focus on that going into a tournament by, like, if I lose this game with Purge the Foe, like, specifically, I could lose the entire tournament. So that's out the window now. You just have to play against a army that's built for Purge the Foe, but you don't have to play Purge the Foe. You're still playing your main primary with maybe a kill here and there throughout your primary. So I like that a lot of this new primary mission for 11th edition. Then you want to find a group with different primaries to practice with. So you're not going to be practicing against one primary all the time. You're not going to get better at it. So you want to find a group that is all playing different primaries. You also want to find a group that has different play styles than you. If you're both playing Purge the Foe all the time, you're not really going to get any better. You're going to know Purge the Foe really good, but you're not going to be able to play taken hold, and then the other 3 primaries, and going to an RTT or GT, other people are going to have those, so you're going to be lost. You're not really going to have a lot of experience going into that. So make sure you're having people that are willing to, including yourself, play different primaries to help you and your opponent know what that primary does. So even if like you and your buddy pick a primary card, next game you play, both pick something different. Next game you play, both pick something different. So you're going to be practicing different ways of playing it constantly every time you put your models on the table. Also, before you go into a GT, you want to find opponents that play different cards. So let's say you and your buddy, like he already has his primary, he knows that's what he's going to be playing, so you don't want to mess that up for him. Same with yourself. Find an opponent like, hey, who's running this primary? Your opponent raises his hand. Do you want to get a game in on Monday? Cool, let's get a game in practice. Now you're practicing different primaries going into a GT, and it's cool because you only have to practice 5 different primaries. If you know your primary, you only have to pick 4 different other primaries to practice against instead of playing the specific missions to practice, which I think is really cool, because you both are just playing a standard game of 40k without having to pick a mission to play. The mission's already set for you. That's actually really cool. Lastly, guys, have fun. Just enjoy it. Like we're starting a brand new edition. You guys are now living through an edition expansion, like a 10.5, you would say. So it's really cool to experience that, because I experienced it in 9th edition to 10th edition. I started at the end of 9th edition. I had to learn, like I opened up the codex and I was like, what the fuck is a detachment? Like, why do we have so many stratagems? Like, what is all the, like, I opened up the codex, I was like, what the fuck is this? I played in 5th edition. So much has changed. Now, if you played in 10th going into 11th, not a lot changed. You're already used to looking at detachments. You're looking at 6 strats. You know how to look for core rules, keywords. You know how to look for keywords and stuff like that. So the transition is so much easier for you guys going into 11th edition. If you guys are brand new or coming from an old edition, you're going to have fun, because going into 10th edition was very easy. It was a very easy change. Now going into 11th edition, it's essentially the same thing. It's just an easy addition to learn, and everything is just, here's the rules. That's it. So I really like it, guys. I hope you have fun playing 11th edition. I already had a blast playing 1 game of 11th edition. I can't wait for more 11th edition games to come up on the channel to share with you guys. And if you guys want to join the Patreon Dirtbag Nation, head over there, because all these videos go ahead on time on patreon.com. I already uploaded what I learned so far in 11th edition on Patreon today. So that's already up there. If you guys are members on YouTube, I appreciate you guys getting early access and joining the Dirtbag Nation. Head over to the website down in the description below. The merch is up there. It's all on one page, so you guys can actually get this merch right to your door. It ships everywhere globally, so you guys can actually order these sick-ass designs. Check those out. And if you want that professional coach in your corner, that's what the Patreon Dirtbag Nation is all about. So get that professional coach like myself in your corner to bounce ideas off of, ask any questions about, and you guys can join the Patreon for as little as $10 a month, and you get unlimited list reviews and questions one-on-one through me or another Dirtbag coach. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what you're excited for. Hopefully this list help simplify getting into 11th edition, and we'll post this up for you guys so you guys can learn and then go join the Dirtbag Nation. So appreciate it, good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon. All right, guys, thanks for sticking towards the end of the video. If you guys want to support the channel, all the links in the description below, which we'll go over. But these right here, we have 3D prints of Cypher, Tech Priest, Phobo Libby, Combi Libby, Lieutenant, Calidus, Codiez, and the Lord of Contagion. All those are up for sale. Message me on Discord. All these widgets, the 6-inch, 2-inch, 3-inch, 1-inch, they pop out. Those are up for sale. The 9-inch widget, the 1 CP token, where you guys can keep track of the CP every single game. The token markers for Chaos and Grey Knights, they're poker chips. Those are really good for sticky objectives. And then also the wound gauges and the fuck you and fuck me tokens are up for sale as well. And we have a new sponsor, Snot Goblin Terrain. They are really, really cool. What's great about them is you can customize them for any layout. So if you run Games Workshop layout, or if you run WTC layout, you can run it that way. And the best part, it's super hard plastic, not going to break on you. and also it's all fully painted. So check on the link below if you guys want to check these guys out. We use them in our streams and they look super awesome on the stream, but it's really good to travel into all your stores and bring them with you. So check those guys out. Then we still have 3D6 Wargaming, where if you guys want some custom templates, you guys can click on these. And then our new and improved Rexar lasers, laser lights with the Dirtbag logo on them. These guys are at a lot of local GTs, especially in the Texas area, but these lines are, or these lasers are rechargeable. So definitely be picking this up. I'm going to be getting sent one of these so I can show you guys on the live stream and stuff like this. But you guys get the Dirtbags and the lasers rechargeable, so highly recommend the Rexar lasers in the description below. Look at this. Look at that line. It is so good. And it's rechargeable. At the top, it's got the USB. Just plug it right in. Good to go. This shit is legit. And lastly, guys, the merch store. This I love seeing at GTs. When you see it across the room, you see your own logo, which is so cool. It's the red, white, and blue. We have the hats as well. They're all flex fit with the Dirtbags logo on the back. I just love wearing backwards hats. But all of these are available in the Printify shop. It's print to order, so you can get all of these shirts, different sizes, different colors. We also have the old school stuff. We have the Nurgling. We have mugs, which you can fit your entire hand in, and some of the Grey Knight logos as well. So let me know what I'm missing. You can message me on Discord, but stay tuned if you guys are interested in the Patreon. That'll come up last. So appreciate it, guys, and let's keep it going. What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are interested in joining the Dirtbag Nation over at patreon.com, you get a bunch of perks. What we did in 2024 was we really expanded. I had traveled a ton and I played my ass off in 40k. Right now we're ranked #1 best player in the United States on ITC rankings. We were the #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world this year in 2024. 2 years ago, we got ranked #1 Grey Knight player in the world, and this year we're probably going to go into Death Guard, hopefully when the new Codex comes out, or Emperor's Children. But you guys, if you guys want that head coach or that coach always in your corner, just to ask questions, bounce ideas off, that's what the competitive Dirtbag and the Dirtbag Nation is all about. If you guys want to support the channel, you head over to patreon.com. You can join the Just a Car tab, which is $5 a month. You guys get access to the Discord Patreon tab. You have to be a patron to get into that Discord, and also I'm always there. All the other coaches are there. Basically, it's just such a good community over on Discord that you guys get specific access to it that only Patreons can get. If you guys want to bump that up, the competitive Dirtbag tier, you guys get to message me or another Grandmaster or another Dirtbag coach over the Dirtbag Nation to add unlimited questions, list ideas, list reviews, and bounce ideas off of. That's what having a coach in your corner is all about. If you guys want to bump up to the Grandmaster tier, that tier you get every perk under the sun. So basically you get access to Discord, you get one-on-one coaching, you get a call once a month if you guys would like to go over any RTTs coming up, any GTs coming up, any list reviews live over Discord chat, and also a special perk that Grandmasters get if you guys want any video suggestions like we do all the time with these table setups that we just upgraded thanks to the Patreons. You guys get suggestions or battle reports you want to see specifically played live by a coach or myself on the next battle report, or a live battle report coming up on the Patreon. So you guys get obviously first access to all the videos. We post them first on patreon.com, but there's just a ton of benefits to having a professional coach that plays this game all the time at the very, very high competitive level in your corner at all times. And that's really what the Dirtbag Nation is all about, getting you guys better at 40K, the basics, and being good in your community. So if you guys want to support the channel, I really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you guys in 2024, 2025. I am super stoked for, super excited for. If we really want to get a bigger studio going, that is going to be my focus in 2025, is really growing the community on YouTube and Patreon specifically. So thank you so much for 2024, all my Patreons. If you guys are interested in joining and want that coach in your corner, head over to patreon.com and support the channel. Appreciate it.